of New York, a city where towering skyscrapers cast long, ominous shadows that crawl through the winding streets, and the relentless pulse of the metropolis reverberates through every corner, there stood an old, looming house. A relic of a bygone era, this mansion had witnessed the relentless march of time and held within its walls secrets long forgotten. As a child, I found myself in this peculiar haven, a residence so alien it could spark the curiosity of even the most jaded observer. The house harbored a hidden gem on the first floor, a room concealed toward the back, which my siblings amusingly dubbed the second living room. Though spacious, it was rarely used, and an eerie stillness hung in the air, as if time itself had abandoned the chamber to its solitude. The room held a peculiar assortment of furnishings, each whispering tales of bygone elegance, now frayed and worn. An aging recliner, a small table bearing marks of countless stories, and a mid-sized couch, once grand, but now a mere relic of its former self. It was a realm forgotten by all but those daring enough to venture within, and certainly not a place for a child's imagination to roam freely. One fateful morning I fell ill, ensnared by a merciless malady that granted me a reprieve from the tedium of school. With my parents and siblings dutifully bound by their own commitments, I found myself alone within the echoing corridors of our enigmatic abode. Languishing in my bed, I watched the clock's insistent hands creep toward 10:30 a.m. in that fleeting moment. As I lingered between the dream world and wakefulness, I heard it, a sound both unfamiliar and unsettling. A steady, rhythmic cadence emanating from the deepest recesses of the house. I hesitated, dismissing it as a mere figment of my fevered mind, but the uneasy feeling in my gut refused to dissipate. A growing sense of dread unfurled its icy fingers around my heart. What could be the source of these inexplicable sounds? Was it my mother, perhaps delayed on her way to work, shuffling about in the early hours? With trepidation, I ventured downstairs, my heart's rhythm quickening with every step into the unknown. The scene that greeted me, framed by the doorway leading to the kitchen, was a scene that would haunt my nightmares for years to come. It was not my mother who stood before me, but a wretched, towering figure, a man of imposing stature, his form obscured by tattered, ragged clothing. He resembled a grotesque specter of despair, a figure ripped from the darkest corners of the human psyche. I stood frozen, fear paralyzing me as an unbearable silence descended. The intruder neither moved nor spoke. His very presence was an affront to reason, casting an unrelenting chill that seemed to consume my very essence. It was as though the entire world held its breath, waiting for something dreadful to unfold. But as terror coursed through my veins, I summoned the strength to flee. Bolting up the staircase, I dared not glance back, locking myself in the sanctuary of my bedroom. Desperation and panic drove me to barricade the door with a heavy dresser, trembling hands fumbling with each futile movement. My phone became my lifeline as I clutched it, trembling, and dialed my mother's number. My words tumbled out in a desperate plea, a primal scream into the void, as I relayed the grim reality that an intruder had invaded our home. Someone monstrous, malevolent, lurking in the very shadows of our sanctuary. The police arrived with sirens blaring, their arrival met with bated breath as their flashing lights pierced the consuming darkness. An exhaustive search of the house proved fruitless, revealing no trace of the sinister figure who had infiltrated our haven. Yet, as the officers prepared to depart, a sharp-eyed detective uncovered a chilling secret. Concealed beneath the couch in the forsaken second living room, they unearthed a trove of horrors, a hoarder's collection of refuse, rotted food, and decay. gruesome revelation that defied reason, exposing the nightmarish existence of a man who had lived among us, a spectral interloper concealed within the very fabric of our existence. In the heart of New York's relentless chaos, a tale of terror had unfurled, its scars etched deep into the very soul of our lives. The foreign invader may have retreated to the shadows, but his malevolent presence continued to haunt our dreams, a specter of the unknown lurking beneath the veneer of the familiar. And as I looked back at that old, towering house, I couldn't help but wonder what other secrets it held, what other horrors lay concealed, waiting to unleash their true terror upon unsuspecting souls who dared to venture inside.